Hi, welcome to the walkthrough of my Family Feud PowerPoint game. I used this game, I built this game from scratch using PowerPoint and various resources that I found on the internet to put it together. Um, and it's a icebreaker for things like team meetings. I've actually used it several times at our team meetings. We've got 6 people on our team, and it's a great way for us to have some motivation and a little fun during our meetings once a month or so. And I have hosted this meeting, so I'll walk through and explain how you too can feel free to download this from my repository and use it. I'll first go over how the game is played, and then I'll go under the hood after that and explain how I built it. So this doesn't actually involve any programming per se, but in fact, the animations that are used to put this together in PowerPoint are kind of like pseudocode, and you'll see how all that works after we go through the basic functionality of the game. So I'm going to start this presentation. It has some sound effects too, so we can enjoy that also. That was the title screen. That's just a GIF from the internet. And the sound is recorded into the PowerPoint, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But yep, that's the title screen. And here we go. If you don't know how to play Family Feud, there's an explanation of the gameplay in the master questions file, master number 1 file. So I'm not going to go over an explanation of how the game is played, just for brevity. So here is our first slide, first question. This is labeled sample. It's a sample question. Name a reason a person might wake up at 2 in the morning. All right, this is a survey of however many people in America answered this question, and you can advance when somebody from a team makes an attempt at an answer. If that is on the master question sheet, here is the master question sheet with the answers populated. So the facilitator of the game will look at this sheet when somebody attempts an answer. And for example, if somebody says a bad dream might make somebody wake up at 2 in the morning, we can see that that is answer number 3 here. And you can label these with numbers if you'd like for ease of facilitation for the game. But you see it's number 3. And if we click on the number 3 here, we get some applause that goes with the correct answer. And here we have 16 points for the correct answer of bad dream. And what we can then do is start populating the scorecard with 16 points there, and it totals down there. And as people answer more questions, we will continue to fill the game board and continue to fill, say that was from team 2, the scoreboard. And if somebody gets, or somebody attempts an answer that is not found among the survey respondents, they get an X. And when there are 3 X's for one team, then according to the rules, it will go to the next team. And then in order to advance to the next question, once this is finished, again, according to the rules of the game, which you can read separately, you can click on the button to advance to the next slide. Okay, and in the regular presentation mode, these slides will appear as this one does when it first is loaded, like that, blank. Okay, and you can click on the button again to depopulate it. That's another part of the animation functions that are under the hood. So that's the basic functionality of the game. There are 2 files here. One is populated with 40 or so questions, so they're ready to go to be played. There's also a separate file that's a template file that just has a blank template slide. So you can pick your own questions and build what you'd like to build. Okay, so now let's take a look at what's happening here and how this all works. It's pretty cool. If you haven't used animations in PowerPoint before, this it's pretty neat stuff that you can do. So taking the title slide, we have the recorded sound animation here, and this is using, if you click on the edit, pardon me, it's the insert menu tab in PowerPoint, audio, record audio. That'll allow you to record audio and then add it into your animation. That's what I did here, and I just played this theme. I found it on the internet and recorded it while it was playing, and then there it is. And it gives you this little button here that you can play. But if you don't want to have to click the button, you can actually set it up so that it starts on click. Here you can see it says on click. So it'll either start when you click, or there's the effect, the trigger of that it's part of the slide sequence. So when you actually push the down arrow on your keyboard to advance the slide, it'll go ahead and start playing the song, and then you can push it again to actually go to the next slide. So that's the first instance of using the animation effects, okay? And we're gonna get way more into them here when we get to the actual question slides. So again, I clicked on animations menu here to show the animations pane, which is here, okay? And when you click on an item, it'll start to expand the different effects that are here. This first set of animations, this number here, the zeros going down here, this is actually what's loaded as like step number 0 in the sequence of actions that are performed by this slides in this by the animations in this slide. So this is just populating all of these text fields and creating the number boxes. So this number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is the actual text that's going into the boxes with the numbers. And since there's a little green star, that means that it is set to appear for the text number to appear when this slide is opened. And these red stars means that that's an exit effect, and it means that these, which are the answers, and then the scores to go with those answers, are not shown when the slide is first opened, right? Because we want to be able to click on one of the numbers to make that answer and score appear. Okay, so this is like the beginning state of the slide. And as we scroll down, we can see here it says trigger text box. 12 is just, it's the 12th text box that I created, but the identifying marker here is the number 1. So that's the text that's in the text box. So this is the one here for bathroom. All right, and let's click on it and see what kind of effects we have going on here. So we see that there's the appear icon, and when we click the effect options, here we can see that the applause sound is activated when this appears, okay? And let's go to the next effects menu. This is the timing. So we make this execute on a click, okay? And this is going to be a click of the text box. So here is the on click trigger, and it's set for that text box labeled as number 1, meaning that when we click on text box number 1, the on click is going to start, and our verbiage, the bathroom word, is going to appear, and it's going to come in, fade over 1 second. Here you can see that we have the, excuse me, there it goes. We have the fade option so that it doesn't just pop-up. It kind of nicely fades in, which is a nice effect. And that's how that works. And there are no particular animations here. It just appears all at once. The text appears all at once. Okay, so that's the appearance of the bathroom word and score. And I wanted to be able to make that go away if I needed to do that for any reason. So if you click it again, and this is action number 2, okay, so the starting state was all zeros again, and click number 1 is the first action. And here, number 2, second action is another click. And we can see that in the trigger. When we click, again, text box labeled with 1. When we click that, it's actually going to make this exit effect take action, and that's going to make it disappear. Okay, there's going to be no sound, so no applause when I just want to erase it. So on click, it's going to have the exit effect, and it's just going to disappear. Okay, so that's an example of one of those text boxes, and that process is just repeated for all of these answer text boxes. And actually here we have the X box, which is what the big red X that shows up when there's a wrong answer. It's basically the same. You click it once, and then the big red X appears. There's the green appearance icon. And instead of having to have a second action on this one, it actually happens along with the first action, which is a click. And you should be able to see that here. On click is the trigger, okay? And there's the box labeled with X, which is this box down here in the corner, actually, labeled with X. But here we can see that there's something different. There's a timer. And so it's starting at 3 seconds after the previous action, which was the appearance. It's actually going to be an exit effect. So it's going to disappear 3 seconds after the first effect, which is the appearance. So that big red X is going to hang around for 3 seconds and then automatically go away, if you'll remember when we kind of did the walkthrough of this. So, and then, you know, a couple other things. There's the button there. That's not actually in the animations. It's just a basic PowerPoint button. You click it and you can set the action for that to go to the next slide. So that's pretty simple. It's not really any of this, what I would think of kind of almost as pseudocode is what's happening here. Okay, and so that is how this works. So once you understand all of these effects and how they're happening, then you can use this PowerPoint most effectively in your own team meetings or family get-togethers or meetings with friends. It's great for Zoom. This is actually something that we've used in the COVID pandemic environment. We're all working remotely, and we play this game over Zoom, and it really works well. And so I'm going to show the template slide. And so just a brief overview of the template slide. Again, you use the master or anyone, and there's 3 question sheets. So it's a big bank, about 300 questions that you can choose from. And so when you find one that you like, I just copied and pasted the text from, for example, the question itself. You can put here into this text field. And there's X marking where these text fields are because they don't really show up unless you click them. So the X's just help identify where those can be found. And yeah, you just click them and type in, copy, paste. Sometimes you have to do a little spacing here to get the numbers to fall in, because this is just like a static image. This scoreboard with the lights is a static image. So these text boxes really are just floating over it. So you kind of have to make them fit into the correct places. But you know, the players of the game don't know that it's just a static image, and so it's kind of nifty how it works that way. And that concludes the walkthrough of the game. Please enjoy and have fun.